So, carrying on from yesterday with some informal chat, I'm going to talk about what I ran out of time for yesterday to talk about. And although this isn't questions and answers with your specific questions, a lot of what I talk about comes from your questions and comments, so don't let that put you off. The answers you're looking for may still be here. But today I'm going to talk about, and I must just cover up the name, I'm going to talk about, I don't know whether you can see this, I hope so, I'm going to talk about this. But no, not marijuana specifically, but this, and I'm using props, not a good idea. I don't know whether you can see that. This, let me try and move it around. I can't see what you're seeing, so I'll try all angles. This is a leaf, and this is a leaf. Two leaves, yeah? And I'm wondering which one you're more familiar with. So this is a Bodhi leaf. The Bodhi leaf comes from the Bodhi tree, which is from the fig tree family, the papal tree, very common in India, and it is the tree under which the Buddha sat and became enlightened. So therefore it's a highly revered tree, auspicious, and considered holy in the Buddhist holy sites and by many Buddhists, and most Buddhists will recognize that leaf. This is a marijuana leaf, and the picture I'm showing you is of one on a bottle of water. It isn't marijuana water, it is ordinary water, but it is referred to as brand drinking water. Branding, this is a kind of identity which is something in human nature we tend to cling to, both in ourselves. We brand ourselves with personality view, and as you know, we've talked about this, Buddhism is about trying to reduce that and understand the faculty, the principles of anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anatta being not self, or things out of our control. So we call ourselves this and that. We're English, we're American, we're French, we're Indian, we're Thai, we're Cambodian, whatever. We're all human beings. But to some extent we have this inherent nature to brand. And it gives us security and comfort and confidence in things we buy that we like. And this is why companies brand things as simple as drinking water. And I don't know, but this brand or this logo is used on many things in this country. I've not seen it before. And I don't know, and this video is not about the ins and outs of the laws of what's legal and what's not legal at all. That I'm not interested in talking about. That's for another million channels, I'm sure. It is the interest, the human interest, that draws my attention. Now I don't know this for sure, but if you put a Bodhi leaf on this bottle, I'm not sure that it would sell as much water as this leaf. And I don't know for sure, but I think more people watching this video know what this leaf is, first of all, as opposed to the other one, which has gone now. this leaf, if you can see it. I would say, because I haven't always been a monk, I wasn't born a monk, I haven't always lived in a monastery, I haven't always been a Buddhist, and I certainly haven't always followed the 5 precepts. Maybe the first 4, or attempted to, but certainly number 5 is new to me, maybe newer to me than it is to many of you. Because I suppose up until about 15 years ago, the 5th precept would never have been a consideration in my life. It was perfectly acceptable. I could say even encouraged that you drank alcohol, you went out socializing, drinking. It wasn't legal, but quite often, parties and such like, and music festivals, very common, people smoking this marijuana. So this I'm talking about is from experience and not from let's say the I'm better than you point of view, because that's not the case at all. We're all the same, however we brand ourselves. Now I might be branded now a monk, and someone else might be branded how I used to be, someone who was a happy-go-lucky, enjoying life kind of person. Now I will say I'm far more enjoying life as this kind of person than I thought I was previously. But what I want to just explain is this 5th precept in a little bit more detail. Well, not so much detail, but in practical terms, for those that might find it difficult, as I did, to understand how someone can possibly have as much fun without this, or if this was vodka, or drinking, these little liveners, or things we have to break the ice, or we have an expression, Dutch courage, I don't know, there's all manner of strange expressions we use to not justify, but qualify, even encourage having a little drink, an extra drink at Christmas because it's Christmas, and these things. So what made me be able to leave these things alone? Because of course I cannot drink alcohol or take anything that is an intoxicant. And just to qualify that, I've just had a cup of coffee, that's not an intoxicant. Caffeine, even nicotine, these are stimulants, but you can legally, and I believe quite satisfactorily, drive a vehicle, even fly an aeroplane, or perform brain surgery after having a cigarette and a cup of coffee. If you've had a whiskey and a marijuana joint, then no. All 3 of those things are out of the question, without a doubt. Some of you may have differences of opinion on that, but the Buddha considered mindfulness first and foremost, and anything that affects mindfulness, so that is our ability of our mind to be open to receive, receptive, and remember, and be aware and awake to all that it experiences through seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting and touching, unhindered and unclouded by either opinion, judgment, or chemicals that may affect that understanding or alter that perception in any shape or form. It doesn't matter if you don't agree with drinking coffee and don't agree with smoking cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I used to, but I still drink coffee, but maybe that's my problem, or maybe it's not. That is largely irrelevant. Specifically, the 5th precept is referring to intoxicants. Now that is not up, it is up for debate, but it's fruitless conversation. If, for the purposes of this conversation, we just assume we're talking about drugs and alcohol, that is a good enough area to restrict ourselves, our attention to for the moment. Now, many people have no wish to give up drinking, or no need necessarily. Many people have no wish or need necessarily to, say, give up smoking marijuana. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think it's even possibly been recently legalized in some countries, including this country. But I don't know I don't know the ins and outs behind that. I don't watch the news, so I'm not sure. So whatever, I know it's freely available most of the time. So it isn't something that's that hard to get hold of and practice and do if you wish to. And why? Why do we have a drink? Why do we have a smoke? So now, from now on, when I say drink, I mean alcohol. When I say smoke, I mean marijuana. I'm not talking about anything else today. Well, we've had a hard day at work, we've got a hard something ahead of us. So there we are, the past and the future. We're trying to either forget or not worry about. Now, this is the point of meditation, bringing ourselves into the present moment, leaving the past behind us and not worrying about the future. And yes, alcohol and smoking, yeah, and even probably smoking a normal cigarette does do that. Even a coffee does do that, because it's bringing your central awareness, your central stimulation to a point of focus that you enjoy, much like meditation. But that is something external, outside of us, something that we have to get. It isn't always there with us. You can say, well, I never have a problem getting my weed on a Friday night just before Christmas. I'm not one of these people who stands around waiting for someone to turn up, who's promised to bring me my stash for the holidays, and it gets later and later and they don't turn up, and I'm panicking and panicking. Of course, that may never happen to you, and this may not be of any concern. There may be a limitless supply of it out there. You may have a limitless supply of money to buy your alcohol. But there will be causes and conditions, there will be circumstances, for sure, at some point, when you will not be able to access either of those things. And really, this is what first attracted me to meditation. Not because I couldn't get what I enjoyed, but more that I thought, if I couldn't have this, how awful would it be? I think this thought was stimulated by going to certain functions or events or places where this stuff was not available, either alcohol or smoking. And it was okay for a day or half a day. But I sure did need a drink afterwards, or a smoke before, and really appreciated it. And this led me to think, you know, what if you couldn't? How would life be? Awful, I thought. And I tried it, and yes, it was awful. But I hadn't tried meditation. Now, I'm just going to literally show you a quick, less than 10-minute meditation, less than it takes time to smoke a cigarette meditation, that preferably you can try when you're not having just had a drink and not having just had a smoke, but maybe on an occasion when your circumstances are really good and comfortable and you're not feeling so much the need to have a drink or a smoke, but you just will because you normally do at that time anyway. But if something else came along, like you had to go somewhere, you probably wouldn't have that drink or smoke, you'd go somewhere. But sometimes out of habit we just pick these things up and do them anyway, don't we? And I am speaking to you from experience. I know how it is. So rather than, in the next time when that occurs, rather than picking up that packet of cigarettes or making your joint or having your drink, then we can try a very quick and simple meditation in, let's say, less than 10 minutes. I don't know how I'm going to time this. I suppose I could put my timer on, but then I won't see. We'll see what happens. I pretty well can judge 10 minutes, I think. The point being, what we come to in meditation is like that cigarette or that coffee, bringing your focus to a point that does take you away from remembering, thinking about the past and worrying about the future, bringing you into this present moment, just for a short while. And then through practice of meditation, you can extend that to longer periods of meditation, which then seep into, bleed if you like, leak into the rest of your life, into your days. That feeling of contentment, of not needing anything else. Now, I didn't replace my drinking and my smoking with anything else. I replaced it with nothing else. Literally, sitting in meditation and experiencing the contentment I couldn't get through drinking and smoking, only momentarily, until the first drink or the first puff had gone, because the second is never as good as the first, and third and fourth and fifth only deteriorate until you're just doing it. You then later the next day or whenever suffer, and then you start the whole process again. I'd noticed this, and I'd heard about meditation, but I hadn't tried it. So try this, and you will find that at first it's very difficult. It requires effort. But just say once, for the equivalent of one cigarette or one drink, try 10 minutes of meditation. This isn't instead of trying to practice meditation each and every day, a half hour or hour's session at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. No, it's not about that. This is a little tip to help us that have had or have a situation whereby habitually or usually our tendency is to use something else to help us relax. And you can apply this to anything. You can apply to, say, putting the TV on. I mean, let's face it, how often do you watch the TV or watch a movie or watch whatever it is, how you do things these days, for entertainment, when there's nothing particular that you need to see or want to watch. You just do it either habitually or just to distract yourself again from your day in the past or what you're worrying about in the future. So try this. Now, it is about the body. It is about bringing your awareness to the body. I appreciate everybody can't sit on the floor cross-legged, so you can sit in a chair. But however you're sitting, be sitting upright, your spine straight. And forgive me for repeating this, I've said it many times before, but if your ears are in line with your shoulders and your shoulders are in line with your hips, however you're sitting on the floor or on a chair, you are sitting with your back straight. The point being, don't lean back if you're sitting on a chair on the back of the chair or have any cushions propping you up anywhere. Don't be leaning to one side or the other. This way, you're sitting upright and straight. Your back, this back part of your back is tucked in. If you've ever driven a sports car, kind of modern sports car, the seats have a little lump thing. You can even increase its pressure in this, they call it the small of your back, that lower part of your back, below your shoulders and above your bum, that dipping in bit, which tends to be straight or even bent, but if you push it in, it pushes your tummy out. That gives you energy. I don't know that it specifically biologically gives you energy, but it gives you the feeling of awakeness, because it's not quite the natural way to sit, but it also gives you a balanced and straight posture. So small or middle, bottom of your back, in, tucked in, and your tummy out. And now, just for maybe even less than 10 minutes, I'm going to just talk you through some points to help bring your awareness into the body, away from the past and the future, into this current moment, and to generate a little bit of good feeling, sense of well-being, similar to that from that first drag of cigarette or sip of coffee, but without that first drag of a cigarette or cup of coffee. Let's try this. So when you're sitting comfortably, bring your awareness to your body, with your back straight, or ears in line with your shoulders, shoulders in line with your hips. If you're sitting on a chair or on the floor, either way, on a chair, your legs straight down, feet slightly apart but parallel. Your heels in line with your knees. If you're sitting on the floor, cross-legged, either one shin and calf in front of the other, or right shin and calf on left thigh. This is your posture. Just place your left hand in your lap. Either way, you have a lap, and your right hand, so palm uppermost, and your right hand on top, with your thumbs just touching. So your left fingers are just above your right knuckles, and your right fingers in your left palm. Notice this, and gently touch the ends, tips of your thumbs together. Notice this. Now, if there are any areas of discomfort, if they're very uncomfortable, adjust your posture slightly, but try to remain upright, not leaning one way or the other, balanced, with your head, the heaviest part of your body, supported on top of your spine, distributing the weight straight down through your bottom to the surface on which it sits. With the base of your back, the small of your back, the middle, bottom part of your back pushed in, which will push out your belly a little, and your shoulders a little back, but just relaxed so that your arms are hanging, elbows directly below your shoulders. Ears, shoulders, elbows, hips. all in a line. And notice this. It may not feel so comfortable straight away. Now this is a very short 10 minutes. Remember, this is instead of that cigarette, instead of that cup of coffee, or hopefully one day, instead of that alcoholic drink, or instead of that marijuana joint. But just take a few deep breaths. It doesn't matter how you breathe just now, but through your nose, in and out through your nose, keeping your mouth closed, but your teeth slightly apart. If your teeth have a slight tendency to bite, then put your tongue a little between them and just gently relax your jaw and relax your face. And just before we do anything else, I want you to turn your head to the left. If your eyes are closed, you can look, and it'll be the opposite way around for you. But turn your face so you're looking to your left without turning your body. It's very slowly indeed. And notice where you feel some resistance in your neck. Don't force, just very gently turn your face towards the left as far as you can. But don't force. If you can only go a little way, just go a little way. That's okay. And then very, very slowly, almost like a wound up spring, but let it just slowly turn around so that you face forwards again. Relaxing your face, breathing in and out through your nose, very slowly, carefully turn your head around to the right so that you face the right hand side. Very slowly, very gently. And then you feel some resistance. Don't strain, don't push. Stop wherever you need to. And notice this. Notice the resistance. Notice the muscles in the left, in the right, in the back, in the front of your neck, in your shoulders, and down either side of your spine between your shoulder blades. Notice how they feel, all those muscles. And as your face returns just naturally to face forwards, relax your face, and breathe in, breathe out through your nose. Now you can do this one more time, 2 more times. If it feels uncomfortable, just do it less forcefully, only to where you meet no resistance. But if it's comfortable, you can push a little through the resistance, returning to the center. And then facing right. Now, if this is a warming up exercise to meditation, you can do this more quickly. or more slowly, it doesn't matter. Now with your face looking forward, your eyes are closed. This is better, but just gently, with some awareness of the breath, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, just tip your head backwards. And very slowly, you'll notice a resistance as you do that. Bring your head forwards again and feel the heaviness in your head as you very slowly return it to the center, to the balance point. And breathe, relaxing your face. And as you breathe in, notice how the heaviness dissipates, has reduced, as that weight is redistributed down your spine to your bottom on the surface below. Now very gently, again, where there's resistance, just stop slowly and return. And then let your head hang, keeping your shoulders straight and back, straight. So your chin is close to your chest. And feel that resistance. And very gently, this is a very gentle exercise, relaxing the neck, tension in the neck, the tension in the shoulders, relaxing your face, around your eyes, and breathing. And now, if you can, and if it's difficult, don't, let your head go to the left, my left, sideways. You'll need to look to see this, perhaps it's hard to describe. And again, feeling the resistance, where you feel resistance, stop. All of the time keeping your back upright and straight. You're not swinging your whole body, literally just pivoting your head down to the left and then bringing it back up to its center. And then very carefully, very slowly, the opposite way. This may feel like there's more resistance and there may be some cracking and creaking. Just gently allow your head to relax as if you're laying your ear on your shoulder. And then, feeling the resistance, slowly bring it back to the center. Now, by relaxing your neck and your shoulders before you start meditation, maintaining this upright posture, with your eyes closed, bring your awareness to breathing. Breathing from your diaphragm only, so your tummy is rising as you breathe in, falling as you breathe out, rising, falling. Simply observe this breath as you breathe in, as you breathe out. As you do this, relax your face, release any tension in your jaw, and ask yourself, what am I thinking? If you're thinking about the past, say, just for now, I'll leave that thought in the past. I may come back to it later, but not for the next 10 minutes. And if you're thinking about the future, the same. Leave it in the future. You can come back to it if necessary, but not for the next 10 minutes. For now, you're enjoying this moment alone, without a cigarette, without a drink, without anything else other than your body and your breath, relaxing your face and observing your thoughts, observing each and every thought as it arises and as it passes away. Now, for now, I'm going to end that here, but you can continue with this for as long as you wish. I've gone over 10 minutes explaining slowly just these simple exercises to gently relax the body, ready for breath meditation or meditation. But you can do this little exercise at any time, in less time than it takes to have that cigarette. And once you've done it 2 or 3, 4 times, you'll already then begin to feel the benefit. So please gently open your eyes if they're closed, and you see it's quite difficult to contain that within 10 minutes when you're explaining, but as you can see, within 10 minutes you can practice that very short meditation, and for purposes of what I've been talking about today, just instead of a cigarette or a cup of coffee or a marijuana joint and a vodka, instead of, try it once. See for yourself, experience it for yourself. Now, not only is that a good exercise on its own, it will lead to your enjoyment of meditation and you wanting to meditate for longer each time. Not always, and certainly if you haven't meditated before, it may feel very good the first time, and the next time or the next few times not so good. But just keep a consistent practice, however you do it, of sitting correctly in an upright posture, breathing, just watching the breath and relaxing, letting the body relax, without forcing. Remember, you're not trying to control the breath, just noticing how it is. You're not trying to control bodily feelings, just noticing how they are. You're not trying to stop thinking. You're just stopping and watching thinking. And it's there, you'll see the space between thoughts. You'll notice where there isn't discomfort in the body. And you'll even be able to bring your focus, your attention to the space between the in-breath and the out-breath. And that is a very short moment in time, free from the past, free from all concerns of the past, and free from all worries and concerns about the future. No regrets, no worries. Contentment. And this is a kind of contentment that you don't have to go out and get. You always have it, here and now, with you, in any set of circumstances. You can bring your awareness to the body and the breath and notice how it's feeling, and notice your mind. So if you don't have this external source of distraction, you always have that. That is what drew me towards meditation a long time ago, and then meditation eventually drew me towards Buddhism, by which time I had to understand that there was this fifth precept, and that I wouldn't be able to drink or smoke or take intoxicants. But of course, through meditation, I had already found that I didn't need those things. So in terms of Buddhism, the fifth precept has never been a problem for me. I'd stopped drinking and smoking before Buddhism, before I knew about the 5 precepts. So that isn't just a lucky thing, it's demonstrative, it's proof that meditation on its own can help with those practical aspects of life. Of course, it's only 1/3 of the practice of Buddhism, which is why I went that stage further into Buddhism and then ultimately renounced and gave up my worldly life to become a monk, because there's so much more to it than that. Excuse me. But even just for a moment each day, that exercise can help you a great deal. And it will help you a lot more than this, as nice as that may be. The water's very good, but water's water sometimes, I think. At least in the fact that it's always there for you, it's always available to come back to. So I'm going to leave it there for today, and try that when you turn this off, when it finishes, if you have a bit of time. Otherwise, next time you're about to reach for that cup of coffee or drink or cigarette or joint, and you're not really, well, I could take it or leave it, then just leave it and try this instead. It's an alternative. Try it that way. And you will be pleasantly surprised, because if you experience it for yourself, you'll want to experience it for yourself again. Because ultimately this body, it gets its pleasure, its satisfaction, albeit temporary, from the chemicals it creates internally. This is the biological side of it, but are stimulated, those chemicals are stimulated by these external drugs or stimulants or intoxicants. However, you can, without those external drugs or stimulants or intoxicants, generate those chemicals naturally. That, though, is not the whole point of meditation, but that is the initial incentive to get into meditation. Why many people look for meditation and how to meditate, because they are wanting to calm their mind, relax, free their stress, get over a bad day, or not worry before a future event. So your answer is there, but be warned, that will lead on to much deeper and more beneficial forms of meditation. But if it does, that can only be good, can't it? Because it cannot run out and it doesn't cost you anything. You're developing your wholesome mind states and reducing unwholesome mind states every time you sit to meditate, to sit and just simply do nothing other than watch the breath and the thoughts. So, enjoy your coming weekend. If you can have 3 or 4 less cigarettes, 3 or 4 less drinks or smokes or whatever, and have instead 3 or 4 extra moments of meditation, then by Monday you'll feel very good, very much more replenished and refreshed than you normally do. So give it a go, and I'll say goodbye. Okay, thank you for watching.